Adam Shapiro's been reporting from Europe this week. He is live in Berlin now, and I believe with the CEO of the stock exchange there. Adam, take it away.
That's correct. Artur Fischer is the co-CEO of the Berlin Stock Exchange, and he's joining me live now because we've heard from the politicians, but we want to talk to the people who will have to live through whatever is coming in the future in the EU as well as the UK. And Mr. Fischer, you and I were talking just before we came on air about your reaction this morning when you found out the UK had voted to leave the EU. Would you share with me what your thoughts were?
Well, obviously it was possible that there would be a Brexit, but in my view it would not happen because people at the end would come to their senses. And I was shocked, literally shocked, when I woke up this morning, 5 o'clock, and I saw what's happening in the development. I would not have thought that it's going to be for real, but it is.
Was that shock visible in what we saw in the European markets today? I believe the DAX was down, what, about 7%?
7.8, something like that, yeah. So we had quite a dip, but it was expected if that was going to happen. And the important thing is we had an orderly market. Everything worked fine, and the volumes tripled. But I believe that on Monday things will simmer down. We'll have a little bit more volatility, but not a repetition of what we saw today.
But something you shared with me when we were talking a few minutes ago upset me. You don't think the people here in Germany quite understand the severity of the decision that's been made?
I agree. I don't think they have, and how can they? Because nobody really understands, except for some specialists, how interwoven the different economies are. And the uncertainty caused by the Brexit decision will, in my opinion, cause at least the threat of a recession. And if that recession will hit Germany, it will hit everybody. And the people in Germany don't understand that yet.
Well, but we hear from people who supported the Brexit that that's just not going to happen, that this can be an orderly separation that could have an economic upside not only for the UK, but perhaps for the EU. Are they just absolutely wrong?
Well, you know, the proof, the pudding is in the eating, as the British say. Nobody knows exactly what's going to happen, but we already see that there's a different opinion. Great Britain wants to have a slow separation. Brussels wants to have a fast separation. That will cause uncertainty. People won't invest if they don't know what's going to happen, and it will drag out. And please understand, there are two different things. The one thing is the separation, the divorce. The other thing is to establish new trading rules. So divorce will happen probably in 2 years. New trading rules will happen over, whatever, 5 to 10 years. And that is going to be a big issue.
Artur Fischer, stay right there, and thank you for joining us. You know, Connell, as I throw it back to you, Mr. Fischer was explaining to me one of the things he and potentially hundreds of thousands of other people in the EU now face is they could go to the UK, he does, twice a week to work, but now all that changes. He may have to get a work permit. His taxes were paid to the UK on those 2 days, but that will all change. That's the kind of complication that nobody really knows what will happen in the future as they attempt to do business, and that's what they face as of right now.
There's a lot of this that we still have to get figured out, Adam. I want to ask you one question before we let you go, because his comments, Mr. Fischer's comments, I think brought up a key issue here, is that the elites, and obviously within his position he would be one of them, take that point of view a lot, that, hey, you don't understand what this will really mean. It's going to be, the repercussions of this will be huge down the line. In talking to regular people on the streets, do they see it much differently in a city like Berlin where you've spent the last few days?
You know, I'm glad you asked that question. I spoke to a young man from Hamburg, and I asked him, what do you think will happen for you in Germany and your future? He was optimistic. He said, this is bad for the UK, but then he said, good for Germany because we like profit. But how long will it take to be good for Germany? That's the question he couldn't answer. We spoke to a young woman from Scotland. She was very upset. She lives here in Germany. She has dual citizenship. She's married to a German, but she doesn't know what's going to happen. So it's the uncertainty there that has people on edge.
But there is a separation. Thank you, Adam. Terrific reporting all week long.